soldier, boy, tell him. Tryna be for everybody on the internet feeling shameless. I'd rather be broke on Sunset in a Hollywood hotel being famous than be somebody that I ain't. Man, I gotta flee from the dank. Man, this whole rap shit fake. I'm trying to keep this shit authentic, but it's hard, it ain't turning out great. I'll never be Kanye. Put my ego to the side, let the work at the beat only entree. I'm trying to do sold out shows. The game made me an outcast, man, I'm feeling like Andre. I keep it 3,000. Faith of a man move mountains. I ain't propel out public housing, but I seen a whole lot of struggle. Cut me in half, I made double. Cut me in half, I never undermine my achievements. Say peace to my demons, I pull out my piece to police them. I gotta go beastin'. Last year I made strides, but I'm trying to be more than just decent and free somebody. Every day a fan say you really motivating me to be somebody, so I can't sell out on the fuck shit. Y'all still lying to your own self, I don't trust shit. I've been the same man for the jump. Y'all thought the plan been sunk, because I had a change in the sound, but I can still be profound. Y'all brains said the only thing shrunk, man, I hustle like Nipsey. Yeah, I was 9 years old, still knew the half ounce 150. Y'all tell a bunch of fake ass drug dealing stories trying to come off motherfucking risky, and that shit missed me. Yeah, I ain't in the big band, but I rock out. All them fake shots getting blocked out. You the police, always motherfucking copped out. Babe Ruth, I'm pointing at the back of the fence. I already know it's coming when it popped out. You don't wanna get to work, you don't cocked out. You ain't made weather, this a motherfucking knockout. I'd never turn to the police, I'd rather do 30. You tell them. On the internet feeling shameless. I'd rather be broke on Sunset in a Hollywood hotel being famous and be somebody that I ain't. Man, I gotta flee from the dank. Man, this whole rap shit fake. I'm trying to keep this shit authentic, but it's hard, it ain't turning out great. I'll never be Kanye. Put my ego to the side, let it work at the beat only. Okay, here we go. Now I think I got a microphone.
Alright, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keane. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.spreaker.com/show/Best Damn Podcast. Also, guys, if you are watching here on YouTube, D-Live, I don't know if it's on Facebook anymore. I think we're still suspended after all this time. I see some Facebook people, Periscope, all of that good stuff. Please make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow, make sure to hit that like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Also, join the Best Damn Fam. Donate, support. Each group of people that donate and support get access to the private live content, which I will be doing this weekend. I'll be doing another one this weekend on the BDP Discord. The link's down in the description below. You can join for free, but if you show some love, you can get in. Let's go ahead and kill the music. I feel like I haven't done a show in, wow, a long time now. It's been a long time, but I got a good one. I got a really cool one. Let me see what's up, who we got in the chat room. Yeah, I know I had it scheduled for like way earlier, and just let me know if you guys can hear me all right. I've kind of got like a weird setup going on, different lighting and mics, so hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm on Facebook. Wow, awesome. It's about time. I haven't been on Facebook in months, so that's awesome. Looks like we have Barry Marshall, Andrew Jackson, Gwendolyn Morales, Calvin Dubois, Marian Crizzo, Kanati Hunting Wolf, Biblical Smackdown over on D-Live. I did not promote this one, so we'll see if people come out for it. But we're going to be talking about some cool stuff tonight. You used to love Facebook when you see people streaming. Yes, yeah, man, that's what's up. Yeah, I don't know why Facebook took me off, but they wouldn't let me stream from my personal page or my business page. Hi from South Wales, Australia. That is what's up. Rochelle Hollier from Wales, Australia. Yeah, man. Nice. Nice to see you guys. Nice to be back. And tonight we're going to talk about some cool stuff, man. First off, they had the preliminary assessment for the unidentified aerial phenomenon. We're going to be talking about this document. We're going to be getting into this document and just kind of looking over it. I mean, you can almost guarantee, like, whenever it comes to shit like this, right, if they're giving it to you, then, well, chances are there's not a whole lot of secrets in there, or if there is, they're heavily redacted. But we've also got all kinds of other stuff going on, too, when we're looking at celestial phenomena, things of that nature. Guys, there's a lot going on, man. A lot going on. The world seems to be going crazy as fuck right now. But, you know, still we continue. each and every day, seeking the truth. I've got some fun ones too, guys. I've got some super classics like some hypnotic alien regression, just so many cool stuff because of this alien report. I thought it'd be cool to kind of add some of these things in. You know, I think it's really strange. Anytime they're like offering you up free information and shit, you know, it's kind of like dangling something in front of your face. I'm always one of those people. Anytime they come out with a release of information, I'm like looking in another direction. Like, so what the fuck did they drop that they didn't want us to see? That kind of thing. You know, and that's how I feel about that. You know, I'm sure people get excited. Oh, we're about to get disclosure. Yeah, disclosure. Sure. When we have DF, lower class citizen, Kathy Montgomery, Nikki Nichols. What up, BDP fam? Thank you. Sharon Kane. It's nice to see everybody, man. Nice to see everybody. You guys like the new hair color? I went teal this time. I thought I'm going to do a show. We're going to do it teal this time. So, yeah. You live in Newcastle. It's all been crazy. Just worse. Yeah. Well, you know what? As crazy as the world gets, you know what? Like, the better it gets for me, I think, honestly. And for people like us. It's not just about, like, being validated. Like, oh, I told you so, right? I told you shit was nuts. It's more of, like, you can live at ease, man. You know what's going to happen is going to happen, and you can go on about your life, and you can seek the things that really, really matter to you. Yeah. I'm a package, freaking sexy. Well, thank you. Good to see you, too. Good to see you, too. It's because I'm a great researcher. Well, I don't know about all that. My research has gotten me in some trouble before. Like, I've uncovered some things I don't think I was supposed to back in the early days. Love the hair. That's what's up. Thank you. I did this one myself. I'm going to put some silver in it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So, yeah. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I know I've been gone for a while. I told everybody the other day, I went to jail. It's pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. I can't really do videos from inside of there. It was some old shit, but I got it taken care of. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise. And now I'm back, and I didn't want to come straight away and start, doing videos like I normally do, because I am a researcher. Like, I study, I research, I dig into shit, and it wouldn't be fair to you if I just come out and started talking out the side of my neck. You know what I mean? I like to get into things and really learn about stuff before I speak on them. What if the dragon is Christianity? Well, we could really go a few different directions with the dragon. I call it the Cthulhu's energy or Kundalini energy. I believe dragon, serpent energy is within everything. I don't know about Christianity. Christianity to me is an anagram for Antichrist, right? It's, all through the Bible, there's different things where Christ is saying, get away from me, you doers of iniquity. I never knew you, right? Didn't we perform miracles in your name? Didn't we do this in your name? Right? And I think he's referring to Christianity, in my opinion. To me, there was one Christian, and the dude's name was Jesus, right? Like, that was the one Christian, as far as I'm concerned. All he taught, in my opinion, was to show us how we could have the same thing. We don't got to sell our souls. We don't got to sell our ass. We can have that enlightenment. We can be illuminated just like all the other ones, without doing all this shit and without, drinking adrenochrome and sacrificing babies. That's what I think Christ was trying to show you the way that you could do it without all the bullshit, that it's all within you, that we all have access to it, and we're awesome, man. We're just awesome, right? Like, that's all there is to it. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High. Check this out. Let's start here. DARPA program seeks to develop camera tech that mimics the human brain. Dudes, now if you guys have watched my private shows, and you know how I feel about me some DARPA, right? DARPA has been involved from top to bottom in this entire agenda that you see playing out right now in front of you guys. Whether you've never seen me or not, let me just say this with DARPA. Think DARPA, think Department of Defense, right? Think DARPA, think stratospheric aerosol injection and HARP. Think DARPA, think nanofibers, right? Think DARPA, think BioNTech, Pfizer, Moderna. Think DARPA, think monoclonal antibodies. Think DARPA, think CRISPR technology, protein insertions. Think DARPA, think PCR, think DARPA. This is what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Right? Think DARPA, think Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. Think DARPA, think, swine flu, all these things. And you'll start to put the pieces together and say, holy fuck, why is the DOD walking around jabbing everybody? Then you'll think DARPA once again, and you'll see why I do private shows. Yeah, because we can talk about those kind of things, and I probably won't even get away with saying what I just said, but I'm saying it for your own benefit, in case you've never seen me, in case you've never ran into me. That way you'll go look this shit up. And look, and it's not like this whole 5th generation thing that most people are thinking when it comes to DARPA. They fuck with the radio frequency, right? So remember when they cleared out all the old analog televisions, y'all? You guys remember that? For digital? I have this theory now, why they would do that, right? Why they would do that. If you look at the different experiments pertaining to nanofibers and the manipulation of the beetles and shit with the radio frequency, yeah. Watch my private videos, watch my private shows, donate support below, PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, and check out the Best Damn Fam live on Discord this weekend, and you'll know exactly what I'm speaking about. Yeah. Well, but this is the thing. The whole 5th generation, it's not what you think. It's humanity 5.0. That's what it is. It's not a millimeter wave deal to control everyone. It's not. It's radio frequency that will be used. Radio frequency. I know it sounds crazy as hell, but it's analog. That's why they cleared all the analog waves, guys. Shit you not. Shit you not. And yeah, I'm glad I'm out too, man. For real. Yeah, the Guidestones say it all, don't they? Right? The Guidestones say it all. I'm anointed. Well, I don't know about all that. I don't feel anointed sometimes. UN is a new beast. Power from America and UK given. UN has always been the beast, and the capital is in New York City. That's why they have the French or the Masons brought over Hecate, right? Libertas, right? That's why that's there, man. That's Babylon. That's Lucifer, right there in New York City. That's the capital of the UN. That's why Prince Charles, when he gave his virtual address about all of this stuff, he gave it from there, right? Because that is the capital of Babylon. Yeah. Yeah, we talked analog. Nice. Yeah. But, yeah, well, listen, 5G is just millimeter waves, guys. And I'm not saying it can't be used for pain rays, heat rays, death rays, all that, right? You're made up of 80% water. And what it does is makes the water molecules rotate in your body, creating the sensation of heat. That's why people run the other fucking direction when it's pointed at them, right? That's why you can cook a cup of noodles in your microwave. But as far as what people think with this giant nefarious agenda, no. I'm telling you, it's just, not all conspiracies are good conspiracies, guys. Matter of fact, I fucking hate conspiracies because a lot of them just run you around in circles and get you buying into just another psyop, another lie, when it's, it's all much more simple than what it's made out to be a lot of times. You know what I mean? And you guys know, some channels live off the fucking cloning shit and, Illuminati stuff, and that's like that's grade 1 shit. You know what I mean? That's what opens your mind to the stuff. And a lot of those conspiracies do open your mind to things, but they get you lost down that rabbit hole too. They're meant to do that. There's even an Illuminati card called Conspiracy Theorist, and it's like, thanks for the idea. You know what I mean? It's like they're toying with people, and people have no idea about the shit. It's really funny. CERN, AI, tech from fallen angels. Well, think about it. CERN, right? Built on the temple of Apollyon or Abaddon. That is the destroyer from the Bible. That's also Satan, that's Saturn, that's Kronos. That is the devil, right? That old serpent called the devil. What I think CERN is, believe it or not, I believe it's like a ritual place for Apophis, the god of chaos and darkness. I think that's where the asteroid will hit, is right there on the temple of Apollyon and Abaddon. And the reason I believe that is because of a Nostradamus prophecy. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't know if I'm even sharing screens or anything. I haven't done YouTube in so long. Hold on, let me pull it up and show you what I'm talking about. This is what makes me think it. Right here. There's a couple of them. Quatrain 944 talks about how Saturn will become from gold to iron. And think about that. A-U-A-I, right? From gold, which is spirit, to iron, which is machine, artificial intelligence, right? And then we also have this. It says here, in the year 1999, 7-month, 999 numerology, right? Apophis, 99942, right? 999, 7-month, from the sky will come a great king of terror, right? And remember, Apophis is the god of chaos and darkness. To bring back to life the great king of the Anglemoid. Now, they put the Mongols there, but it means the month of the angel, right? Which would be 7th month, or Set, Satan, right? Before, after, Mars to reign by good luck. And Mars is Marduk, to reign by good luck. This is the story of Enki, Enlil. This is the Egyptians right here. I don't know if I got the damn image, but I've showed it a billion times. I'll show it one more just because I haven't been here for a while. But this is what it is. It all boils down to this, man. And a lot of people don't even get it. They don't even get it. Right here. Bam. See? The snake. There's Apophis. This is the Revelations 12 sign right here, dude. It talks about another sign appearing, an enormous red dragon, which means a fabulous kind of serpent. Here's your fabulous serpent. And he's also a dragon. His name's Apophis. Right? There's Set. And there's Ra, the sun god Ra, or Jupiter. Right there, dude. It's all right there, man. And it even shows it in iPet Goat, too. The same exact fucking setup. And when you look at the stars right now, look at it. See Venus and Mars coming together, but watch. All of them are coming together right now. This is the final conflagration that we're heading into. They're all in alignment here, right? After that Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, which was the end of the age. That's why we see all those fucking pictures with Jesus and shit with his two fingers up in the air. They're representing the two becoming one, right? The solar and the lunar. This is it, man. This is it. This is the end of the age. This is when Jupiter usurps Saturn in the sky and for the crown, right? It's the story of Kronos and Zeus. Osiris, all of them. It's the same story over and over and over. We get our ass torn up here on Earth about every 300 to 400 years. And if you look, it's right on time. You know, Biden declaring victory on the 100th anniversary of the Bolshevik. You know, the whole Operation Trust and Trust the Plan with the former POTUS. I mean, it's all right there, dude. Nothing new under the sun. And when we look at Albert Pike, the 3 World Wars, in his 1871 letter to Mazzini, well, I mean, the social cataclysm is already underway, right? And that's what they are. They're not really wars. They're social cataclysms meant to cull the population, the masses. And we see it happening now. It started off 9/11, C-19, Comet Atlas 19, right? It's all the same ritual, guys, playing out. That's why Trump declared the national emergency, 3/11 at 3:33, right? It's all there. It's in the numbers. This is the numerology, the witchcraft, the Kabbalah, the sacred geometry. They use all of these things. It's like the fucking ingredients of this massive spell that they're running on all of you. All of you. And they hate me because I don't want to spell you too. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. See, the threat of China invading Taiwan is growing every day. What the U.S. can do to stop it. The Chinese military has already began gray zone operations and all-out attack on Taiwan looms if Beijing continues to escalate. Guys, you already knew that this was going to be like one of the main boiling points for all of this. How do we know? Because of the earthquakes that were taking place in Taiwan. Remember the 5.2 and all of that? That's what all of this is truly about. That's why they frack on all the fucking fault lines. That's why they do all of this. This is one big show. One big show. And, you know, they don't drop the curtain till it's all over. You know, most of you guys will be left in the theater to get slaughtered, truth be told. So, strange meteorite unlocks clues about the origins of our solar system. Scientists studied an unusual meteorite to learn about the burst of UV light that's shown on our future planets. And see, I think this is very telling too. I think they're full of shit and they're liars, obviously. But there are meteorites and all of that that's hit the Earth over and over and over again, but it's the UV, guys, that's what got my attention, right? I believe that there is some solar flash, solar flare event, and the Bible even describes as much, talking about the heavens and the earth, right, passing away with a terrible noise and fervent heat. It sounds like a recurring micronova, and if we look at our sun, you know, and I've talked about this quite a bit too, and I'll show some images in just a second to kind of back up what I'm talking about. Guys, the sun looks like it's about to go fucking nova, right? We watched it go from yellow to white to a bluish color to now it's red in the sky. Next stage is black, and the Bible talks about it turning black like sackcloth of goat hair, right? The moon becoming blood, right? That's the hard shell that builds up before a recurring micronova. And if you think about it, Mars getting its fucking atmosphere blown off, Tiamat, the planet that's no longer there and is just the asteroid belt, there's evidence that something's happened. I mean, even look at Venus. Venus is like a comet that used to orbit Jupiter and is now around the sun. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that we could kind of look at to say, hey, something's happened before, right? There's even studies that show that 60% of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere was gone at one point. Look at us. We're on like a new axis and a new tilt. And now they're talking about, where's it at here? Right here. Model predicts when rivers that cross faults will change course. Guys, I've been telling you about this shit for a grip now, right? Like for a long time now. Hold on, let me pull it up. I'm telling you, we've been rocked about 14 times in the Bible. About 14 times. And our history is not accurate. Not even close. I guess, you know, history goes to the victor. See? Right here. And see, look, rivers were flowing the other fucking direction when this happened. Why? The earth tilted 28 degrees. See? This is all biblical. And look, each time. 323, 661, 668, 336, 27, 191, 276, 55, 121. See, these are all, you know, a couple hundred years apart. And look, all through history. Like clockwork, man. And they all happen with the Great Conjunction, by the way. The end of the age. See? Jonah's Nineveh, Hezekiah, Assyrians, Yeshua, Constantine, and that cross he's seen in the sky was, you know, the planet of the crossing, or what we probably call a celestial alignment between our own planets, is what I'm starting to think. I think it's going to be all of our planets, and it's going to be Jupiter that ascends the Earth. But you can look here, Chinese guest star, panties, Revelation, and there you go. We get our ass torn up non-stop down here. And the sky disk of Nebra, same thing, right? The day the Earth stood still, they seen the sun still in the sky. It's because we were tilted. See, model predicts when rivers that cross faults will change course. Of course it's going to happen. See, they're telling you, though. They're telling you. Mini Neptune's atmosphere ripe for study. And see, and this is another thing we're seeing, you know, within the other planets, different spots on fucking Jupiter, you know, raining diamonds down on Uranus, Neptune gaining another spot. I mean, these are just little things, but it means it's happening to the entire system and not just planet Earth. Earth was bombarded by a barrage of city-sized asteroids, perhaps 10 times more huge impactors than thought. Boom. This is going to happen again, too. There's nothing new under the sun. Excuse me. Remember, hail, fire mixed with blood, and a third of the earth was burned up. A third of the green grass was burned up, right? Like, this is it. This is coming. This is part of the tail end of the system. Is this the Trojan asteroids that flank Jupiter, though? That's the question. People talk about Nemesis having the wings. Well, Jupiter also has Trojan asteroids that flank it, just like you would think of like when it comes to a Nemesis. And what caused an old giant star to disappear for over half a year? Let's see. Let's go ahead and give you guys some sound. Make sure you got some sound. this, it's always a fucking infrared telescope. It's like they're putting it right in your face. You know what I mean? Like the whole, from Lucifer to all of it. Look, dramatic surge in U.S. coastal flooding projected to start in the 2030s. I mean, guys, like, tell us something we don't know. It's kind of, you know, where I'm at with all this. Tell us something we don't know. We've been telling you guys this is coming. We know that the magnetic reversal is well underway. It's already moved well over 60 miles this year. We have 2 north poles, 2 south poles magnetically migrating towards Siberia. And speaking of, remember I was talking about the dissipation over Canada? Check this out. Where is it at? It's like all the shit's starting to come together, man. Like, seriously. You can't make this stuff up. Is this what I was looking for? Yeah, right here. Look. Heat wave killed an estimated 1 billion sea creatures, and scientists fear even worse. And look where it's at. With the Pacific region hitting record-setting temperatures in the last few weeks, a new study from Canada shows that the heat wave's enormous impact on marine life, an estimated billion sea creatures off the coast of Vancouver have died as a result of the heat. Think about this, guys. We was talking about this, the dissipation of the magnetic field over Canada, and then Cascadia subduction zone, and all of the different action that's been taking place, including all of the sulfur and the bullshit that's being released from underwater on the ocean floors as the crustal displacement continues. This is energy coming out, man, and it's not always good shit either, right? Think about the carbon, the fucking sulfur. I mean, all of this, man. This is poison, you know, to something, especially right there in the water. And not to mention the temperatures are rising globally, both salt and fresh water. This is telling you a lot. This is a telltale sign. Not just that, you know, but we see with the planes and all of the electrical equipment failure. And even I just seen an article today that was talking about the U.S. government. Would they strike back with nuclear weapons if they were attacked with EMP? Right? They're getting you gassed up. Haitian authorities have asked the U.S. military forces to help stabilize the country. You gotta love stuff like this, don't you? Right? Was it Kermit Roosevelt, the president of Theodore Roosevelt, that the first time the CIA ever used psychological warfare to overthrow a country, it took $1 million. They did it to the Ayatollah of Iran. And every time I see shit like this, that's where my mind goes back. Right? It's so much cheaper to destabilize a country and then put a puppet president, a puppet leader in there. And come on, man. Like, we all know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all do. And this is what happens. This is why there's only 3 countries in the world that aren't beholden to the petrodollar. And that is North Korea, Iran, and is it Afghanistan, or did they already get them? Either way, right? We have 3 of them. And that's it, man. 3 of them. Somebody give me the 3rd. Was I right on Afghanistan, or are they no longer in that list? Cyber Polygon. Missing link. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It's North Korea, Iran, and who's the 3rd terrorist bastards? Syria. Thank you, Michelle Stone. Wow. See, I have the smartest subscribers in the world. It is Syria. Nope, it's Syria. It's Syria. It's Syria, Iran, and North Korea. And I mean, think about that, right? They're the only ones not on their knees right now to the Babylonian system. And you got to think about it. Each one of them, though, are also under the wing of the upcoming system, though. So they're still there, right? Syria is under Russia's wing. North Korea under China, and Iran is under Russia. So we already know how this is going to go anyways. It's not going to fucking matter. Right? It's not going to matter. Assad, the leader, trying to overthrow. Yeah, and you know what? What was her name? She ran for president. Tulsi Gabbard. One of the reasons they said that she didn't get it, like she didn't get the popularity, is because she actually went and met with Assad and talked to him. I mean, that's the kind of crazy, fucked up world we live in right now, right? Like, you know, people get mad that politicians went and talked to each other when that's, you know, it's just craziness. I don't know. Fuck them all, right? I ain't voting for nobody. Your vote don't matter anyways, right? It don't matter anyways. Who cares? Biden's executive order puts net neutrality back in the spotlight. Guys, this is bad news right here, man. Bad news. And see, now you wonder why every comedian, every YouTuber, every entertainer, dancer, anybody online now has went to paid fucking content or paid websites. This is why. We've all seen this shit coming. What was it? Article 13 from the EU was the first kind of shoe to drop a year or so ago. And then all of the different things with the community guidelines. This is where they're taking it. They don't want us common folk to be able to use, the web the way that we have. You got to think, this awakening, this shift, all of this information, dude, it's come from us, y'all. Like, it's come from us. Like, and you can even see the sites that was allowing shit to kind of go, like DLive and stuff like that. They demonetized me. BitChute, they've updated their community guidelines. Like, there's going to be nowhere that's safe. The government will not allow anyone to operate that operates outside of the bounds of what they want. Right? Like, that's how it is. So if we don't create our own communities, our own platforms, our own thing, we have nothing. And that's the truth. Like, and people are going to know it now. It's not just going to be talk from fucking YouTubers. It's going to be, people are going to know it. They're going to be like, damn, shit's got crazy. And like, and this was all part of, if you guys remember, what was it, HR 1 or HR 127 when they started with the gun shit, right? Trying to make it almost impossible to afford the guns and all of that. That's when this started to get snuck back in, right? And now here you go. It's just like the whole digital dollar thing. Remember in the first stimulus, they push it in and they're like, no, we're going to keep it back. Oh, but now it's time to bring it back. See, like, it's predictive programming. It's getting you ready, getting you adjusted. That way you accept it when it finally does come, right? You're like, oh, that's normal. I've heard of that before. No, you haven't. They just mentioned it, and now they're rolling it out on you because they mentioned it in the past. So, yeah. They never knew what the internet would expose. I don't think so. I think you're right, Tim. I think when it comes to the internet, I don't think they knew that we would do what we did with it, right? Like, and I mean we as in all of us, right? We put out information, we spread it like wildfire, and it became our tool for a long time, right? Against the system, and we were socially engineering our own society there for a moment, right? But they've taken that back through algorithms and artificial intelligence and censorship and, just shadow banning, all of it. They've taken that back, and now they are social engineering the masses through the internet now. And to me, it's almost gotten to the point to where it's like, whoa, we got to go back to like a one-on-one thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is cool to like meet and have communities and forums and shit like that, but it's kind of like back behind closed doors now. Like, if we really want to have these conversations and really want to talk about what we want to talk about, we can't do it on this stuff anymore. There's too many rules, there's too many hoops to jump through, there's too many ways they can shut you down just for saying anything wrong. It's a good tool to bring people together, but we have to take the initiative to kind of push it to the next step, the next level, at least in my opinion. And that's something I really want to do, trying to do. I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. Ain't that weird that people were saying I was dead? You guys should have let everybody think I was dead. Then I would have come back like Juice WRLD, had like 1 million subscribers. That would have been great, right? Everybody thought I was dead, and I would have come back from the dead. Do like a Tupac hologram video or something. It would have been great. You're indigenous, and you want to share the land with who aren't corrupt. Yeah, I feel you. Like, and I mean, that's the way it should be. We're all people, like skin color and sexual orientation and all that. It doesn't matter, right? We're all people. We're the human family. That whole divide and conquer shit I've never gotten into. But it's hard to get people to come together when they're so focused on what's tearing us apart. You know what I mean? Like, it's compartmentalized thinking, and it's been done that way for a reason. It's mind control. It's MK Ultra. They traumatize the shit out of everybody, get them thinking really compartmentalized. They create schools, the system, the military. It's all compartmentalized, and it's meant to be like this because it's creating this hive mind mentality, and it's being absorbed now through artificial intelligence, right? Everybody's being uploaded into that now, and if you're a true individual, a true spirit, true, creative, loving life, all of that, you don't fit. You don't fit. You don't belong. And, you know, they don't want you to be a part of it either. That's for sure. That's for sure. They're brainwashing everyone. I know, man. And you know what? I think one of the reasons they've hated me so bad is because I refuse to participate in the brainwashing. You know what I mean? Like, I can't live with myself if I was to ever do something like that to people. People, that's done nothing to you, too. I don't see how other YouTubers do it. Honestly, I don't. I don't see how there's enough money in the world to want to harm other people like that. Especially people that love you, man. They watch you and they love you and they support you, so you're going to turn it around and hex the fuck out of them. And I don't get it, man. It's really screwed up. It's really screwed up. Yeah, well, they dug their hole. Yeah, they did dig their hole, man. No, they'll, everybody reaps what they sow. That's for sure. Check this out. I've got some cool stuff here. An incredible fireball turns a night into day in the skies over Idaho. Let's see this bitch. More and more fireballs, man. Look at that. Everybody can, if you're watching in the chats, no matter what you're watching on, please make sure to hit the like and hit the thumbs up. I didn't get to promote this at all, so I really need help, with the likes and stuff. That way people can find this. Continental pirouette, supervolcano fed from Earth's mantle, caused crustal plates to rotate. I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like crustal displacement to me. I feel like there was this one channel on YouTube that talked about crustal displacement and nobody listened to them. The plates of the Earth's crust perform complicated movements that can be attributed to quite simple mechanisms. That is, the short version of the explanation of a rift that began to tear the world apart 105 million years ago over a length of several thousand kilometers. The scientific explanation appears today in the Journal of Natural Geoscience, and according to the paper, the supervolcano split the Earth's crust over the length of 7,500 kilometers, pushing the Indian plate away from the African plate, and the cause was a plume in the Earth's mantle, i.e. a surge of hot material that welled upwards like an atomic mushroom cloud in a super slow motion. It has been long known that the Indian landmass thus made its way northward and bumped into Eurasia, but a seemingly counterintuitive east-west movement of the continental plates was also part of the process. This is supported by the calculations by a team led by Dutch scientists Douwe van Hinsberg, Utrecht University, and Bernard Steinberger and GFZ German Research Center for Geosciences. And guys, one thing they never seem to put into these things is the energetic flow of energy throughout all of the continental plates and how they're all connected and how we can actually watch that flow, and that it is a plasmatic flow, and that the energy dissipates evenly across all of these different fault lines, and that we can actually tell if they did real science instead of what they call the scientific consensus. We could actually tell, who's going to end up on top in the next magnetic reversal and who's going to not, you know what I mean? But they don't want that kind of information out there. They don't want you to understand the way the world really works, because then you would fucking figure out that it's all energy and that it's created and manifested by you. So, yeah. You got to buy into the whole gradualism bullshit. Pentagon spokesperson concedes deteriorating security situation in Afghanistan. Who didn't know this was coming? You know what I mean? As soon as they started pulling out of fucking Afghanistan, talking about China getting their nose into it, everybody knew what the fuck was about to happen here. It's just, people can't be this stupid. Maybe they are. But they shouldn't be this stupid. And the bendable ice is freaking us out. Hey, you know what? I got this fucking thing. I didn't pull the video up, but I'll get it here in a second and talk about that. It's not the San Andreas, but the fault systems that produce 6.0 quake poses big dangers. Dudes, the swarms, all of it, man. You're seeing the signs, dude. You're seeing it. It's all over the place. The magnitude 6.0 earthquake that rattled parts of Northern California on Thursday caused no injuries and little damage, but it is a reminder that the Sierra Nevada area at the epicenter of the quake is capable of destructive timber and seismically active. And the earthquake center on the California-Nevada border was felt as far as west of San Francisco, as far as Visalia, California, and San Joaquin Valley. The epicenter was about 167 miles northeast of San Francisco, 125 miles northeast of Fresno, and 110 miles east of Sacramento, and 70 miles southeast of Reno. Now, much of California's earthquake risk has been focused on the fault, like places like LA, San Francisco. But, guys, we already know San Francisco is going in the fucking drink, right? Like, they're not going to be around, man. Anytime you look at the flood maps, and I've shown the shit. Here, let me pop one up just to show you what I'm talking about here. Right here. See? Notice all the different areas they're mentioning? See what I'm saying? Right? Cascadia, San Andreas, and then you have Yellowstone, all right there pinching together. You ain't got a snowball's chance of hell. I mean, when all this pops off. And we've seen the same thing, right? When it comes to New Madrid, there's been massive amounts of swarming, and not just that, in the Northeast as well. There's been methane fucking lines exploding. You look around Oklahoma, all the gas lines. I believe Oklahoma could be a giant caldera, you know. And even down in the Southwest, when you look into the desert, you can see what looks like old magma flows from the last time that crustal displacement took place, guys. And when we think about the whole Vancouver thing and all of this, guys, we're getting ready to rock and roll. Like, we're getting close to some shit. We're getting close to some real deal action here on Earth. We've seen, you know, massive amounts of volcanoes that are erupting, over 48 at a time. I mean, we get these thousands and thousands of percentage increases in earthquakes. We get thousands and thousands of percentage increases in fireballs, and it's like, still people, like, they don't get it, right? Lightning, 42 people die in a lightning storm, still people, they don't get it. Planes crashing, electrical equipment of failure, ham radios going out in the South Atlantic anomaly, still people don't get it. The warm water as well as, or the ocean water as well as the fresh water warming up, still people don't get it. You look at all the increases in the particulates in the air, still people don't get it. You look at the auroras, which are just heated gas trapped in the top of the ionosphere, still people don't get it. And it's like, when the fuck will they? Because things are changing, and they're changing fast. And you can blame it on your car emissions if you want. But if that was true, it wouldn't be happening on Jupiter, it wouldn't be happening on Venus, it wouldn't be happening on Mars, it wouldn't be happening everywhere. This is a celestial event, right? This is the final conflagration, in my opinion. This is an alignment of all alignments, and I think there's been 7 before, and we might be in for the last one, or who knows, maybe there's 1 or 2 more, I don't know. Seems like humanity always prevails either way. This week on space.com, parallel universes, moons, UFOs. Guys, we've had so many eclipses here recently. We've had so many different things that are going on with the moon recently. Like, I think the signs and wonders shit is you've got your evidence if you're one of those people by now. The UFO visitors from space, government's reports won't rule it out. And the BU security expert Jack Weinstein, astronomer, weighs in. And we've all seen these videos, man. I mean, I'll skip through a couple of them here, but I want to actually get to the report. See if we can actually get it to play.
I hike Vermont.
Hike Vermont.
We hike Vermont.
Hike Vermont.
Hike Vermont.
Here we go.
Farley's Rubio at the Fairbanks Museum and Planetarium. He joins us now with details about a long-awaited report from the Director of National Intelligence that looks at UFO sightings. Well, I still call them UFOs, Bobby. What's the report say?
Well, now we have a new term, unidentified aerial phenomena. I guess it's more inclusive of everything, in case it's not an object. But this report is something I've been waiting for my whole entire life. And it's actually a little bit dissatisfying because almost nothing is explained. Only one case out of 144 is known to be a deflated balloon. Everything else is still
And think about that too. I think I mentioned that number just the other day. I think it's very fucking strange to use the number 144 for very obvious reasons. We know this, the 66 books in the Bible, 40 years in the desert, 40 days, right? Like 33. They do this over and over and over again, and we know why. It's just witchcraft. It's all it is. It's witchcraft. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual document here. I got it over here, right here. And even what dude said, like I said, man, you know, you're not going to get a lot out of this kind of shit. Preliminary assessment, unidentified aerial phenomena. And I've got some cool videos after this, though, so stick with me. Scope and assumptions. The preliminary report is provided by the Office of Director National Intelligence in response to provision of Senate accompanying the Intelligence Authorization Act in the fiscal year 2021. Now, the report provides an overview for policymakers and challenges associated with characterizing potential threat posed by unidentified aerial phenomena, while also providing a means to develop relevant processes, policies, technologies, and training for the U.S. military and other U.S. government's personnel, and if and when they encounter a UAP, as to embrace the intelligence community's ability to understand the threat. And you guys remember, it used to be like don't ask, don't tell type shit, right? Like, people's careers would get ruined for saying something about it. I think it's so crazy, you know, when they're the ones who gassed all this up. I think Roswell was just a false flag event, my opinion, and they've been gassing this shit up ever since, and it's all about the fallen angels. The executive summary: limited, high amount of quality reporting on unidentified aerial phenomena, and it hampers our ability to draw from conclusions about the nature and intent of UAP. The Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force considered a range of information on UAP described in U.S. military or IC intelligence community reporting, but because this reporting lacks sufficient specificity, ultimately recognized that a unique, tailored reporting process was required to provide sufficient data for analysis in UAP events. As a result, they concentrated in its review on a report that occurred between 2004 and 2001, the majority of which are results of new tailored process to better capture the UAP events through formalized reporting. And most of them reported probably due to represent physical objects, given the majority of UAP were registered across multiple sensors to include radar, infrared, electro-optical, weapon seekers, and visual observation. In a limited number of incidents, UAP reportedly appeared to exhibit unusual flight characteristics. These observations could be the result of sensor errors, spoofing, or observer misperception, and require additional rigorous analysis. There are probably multiple types of UAP requiring different explanations based on the range of appearances and behaviors described in the available reporting. Our analysis of the data supports that the construct that if and when individual UAP incidents are resolved, they will fall into one of 5 potential explanatory categories: airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomena, or USG or U.S. industry developmental programs, or foreign adversary systems, and a catch-all other bin. The UAP clearly pose a safety to flight issue and may pose a challenge to U.S. national security. Safety concerns primarily center on aviators contending with an increasingly cluttered air domain. UAP would also represent a national security challenge if they are foreign adversary collection platforms or provide evidence a potential adversary has developed either a breakthrough or disruptive technology. Consistent consolidation of reports from across the federal government, standardized reporting, increased collection and analysis, and streamlined processes for screening all such reports against a broad range of relevant USG data will allow for more sophisticated analysis of UAP that is likely to deepen our understanding. Some of these steps are resource intensive and would require additional investment. And here we go. Available reporting largely inconclusive. Limited data and inconsistency in reporting are key challenges, and the standardized reporting mechanism exists until the Navy established one in March 2019. Air Force subsequently adopted the mechanism in 2020, but it remains limited to reporting, and it is heard anecdotally during its research about other observations, but which were never captured in formal or informal reporting. After careful considering the information, largely witnessed firsthand by military aviators that were collected from systems we consider were reliable, the reports describe incidents that occur. Let's take a look at some of them. Let's take a look at some. Take a look at some incidents here. And you know, what is so fucking wild about this is like people get so excited about this kind of shit. They get so excited about this kind of shit just to be disappointed as hell when it finally comes out. There we go. In line with the provisions of the Senate 116-233, the long-term goal is to widen the scope of its work to include additional UAP events documented by broader swath, personnel, technical systems, and analysis. The data set increases the ability to employ data analytics to detect trends, which also improve the initial focus will employ artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms to cluster and recognize similarities, patterns, and features in data points. I'm sure they will, right? And the aviators encounter safety hazards are required to report these concerns depending on location, volume, and behavior of the hazard during incursions. They have 11 reports of documented instances in which pilots reported near misses. The majority of the data from the U.S. Navy reporting are underway to standardize incident reporting. Now, the data collection has been limited historically. They began a 6-month pilot program in 2020 to collect the most likely areas and evaluating how to normalize future collection. They capture data related to the normal course of managing air traffic operations. FAA generally adjusts the data when pilots and other airspace users report unusual, unexpected events. And they're looking for novel ways to increase collection in cluster areas where the force is not present, a way to baseline standard activity, and mitigate the collection bias in data set. One proposal is to use advanced algorithms to search historical data captured and stored by radars. Also plans to update its current interagency collection strategy. In order to bring relevant collection platforms and methods from the DoD and the intelligence community. And they just give you the different definitions, and this is pretty much trash. And the Senate report specifically requested the report include detailed analysis of intelligence reporting, detailed analysis of identified phenomena data, geospatial intelligence, signals intelligence, human intelligence, and measurement and signatures intelligence, detailed analysis of Federal Bureau of Investigations, interagency processes, identification unofficial accountable for the process described, and airspace threats posed, incidents or patterns that indicate potential adversary that could be U.S. strategic or conventional forces at risk, and recommendations for increased collection of data. So it sounds like what they've done with this is what they've done with everything else. They said, hey, we're going to use this to collect a bunch of data on everybody now, right? Without more data, without more surveillance, we just can't tell. We just can't tell. We must need some more surveillance. You know what? And what's wild about this is you got these motherfuckers willing to put shit up when it comes to when it comes to, plus the wildfires here in Canada is a sign. Yeah, Canada's screwed right now, straight up. Let you know when I'm coming in. Yeah, well, the Space Force shit is nonsense to me, in my opinion. Space Force is just another excuse to get shit launched above your head, just like Starlink. And I don't think it's what you guys think, man. That whole space trash, space debris thing, the reason it is because they can't get out of the firmament. So anything they launch is stuck under the dome with us, right? In my opinion. They're not launching, satellites as in what we would think. I think everything is still operating through radio frequency. I really do. And that what they're trying to do is actually cover, the ground, Star Wars, right, with radio frequency to be able to manipulate those that are connected to it, if you know what I mean, right, connected to it. Even through the neural lace, I would almost be willing to bet that is running off radio frequency too. I bet you would be surprised if we went and looked in and seen the details of neural lace and what type of signals it's actually receiving. I'm telling you. Starlink has always been there. You know what? I think Starlink might be like Noah's Ark. That's what it reminds me of. Excuse me. It's late. Sorry, guys. It reminds me of Hey, you never know. You're right. You don't never know. But I mean, Starlink kind of reminds me of like Noah's Ark when it talks about in the Lost Book of Enki how the Anunnaki went up and watched. You know what I mean? As things were destroyed, it makes me think of Starlink, right? Like if you can't leave, right? You can't get in a fucking spaceship and go because you're under a firmament. What would you do? Right? You just throw a Starlink up there with a bunch of, you know, like maybe it's a bunch of pods for all the rich to sit in, you know, as everything happens, and they just float above us as we get destroyed. Who knows, right? Like, I mean, I'm just putting it out there. It's very strange. Very strange. Damn. Yeah. I mean, who knows, right? I don't know that language. It's a chip in the brain? Well, okay, well, the neural lace, though, I'm just telling you, if they're using nanofibers to go into people's brain, well, then what is that lace actually made out of? And what is it receiving signals from? I bet it's based on the same exact thing. I'm just telling you. Matter of fact, let's look it up. Let's see if I'm right. Let's take a look at neural lace. Because, I'm curious. I think a lot of them have already had the neural lace. Let's see how it communicates with RF frequency. Flexible circuit is injected into living brains. See, it's a circuit, guys. And I guarantee it connects with radio frequency. See what I'm saying? Like, it's not what people think, dude. Not at all. People think about the 5G. See, whereas vision dominates, sensing robots, animals, and limited vision deftly navigate the environment using the forms of perception such as touch. Efforts have been made to apply artificial skins and tactile sensing to robots. Similarly sophisticated mobile and manipulative skills, the ability to functionality mimic the afferent sensory neural network required for distributed sensing and communication networks throughout the body is still missing. The limitations partially due to the lack of contegration of the mechanosensors in the body of the robot. Here, the lacing is a stretchable optical fiber distributed through 3D printed elastomer framework, created a co-integrated body sensing and communication network. This soft functional structure could localize deformation and sub-millimeter positional accuracy and sub-Newton force resolution. And the biological systems adapted to functionality and interact with external environment, developing an entwined brain-to-body relationship. The complex arrangement allows the letters to perceive the world and perform and interpret in a closed-loop manner. And let's see what it says here. See, they're mechanoreceptors. Mechanoreceptors under the skin. Hello? Alright. Okay, so I'm going to play a video real quick so I can let my brother in the house. Give me just 1 second, guys.
Greetings. This is a small transmission of the local galactic government, part of the wider Commonwealth of 13 galactic clusters. You can refer to us in one word: Andromedians. You may have heard of us from other sources, but allow us to establish one critical fact. During a galactic uprising that brought great destruction in 1/3 of this galaxy, certain groups of our Commonwealth joined forces with the Rebel Alliance. This alliance is led by the Draconian species, governed by 24 plus 3 council members under a high commander. This ruler goes by many names, most of which are recorded in your planet's history. Point being is that the rebel Andromedians have been acting as intermediaries between the Draconian Alliance and Earth governments, which they have come to control. Their goal is the enslavement of your planet, the extraction of its resources, and the complete extermination of all life. Then the Draconian fleet of 118 war planets, including its 2 flagships, will depart for a critical nerve node of the universal organism. We cannot and will not allow this to happen. Your enslavement has been orchestrated by an artificial race that many of you consider native to your planet. It is not. During your current state, you cannot enter a direct conflict with them. This is our duty. But what you can do is protect yourselves and survive until our arrival. Operative warning is, death rises in the east, but the west has been infiltrated by eastern agents on all levels. Deal with those agents as we deal with the real threat. We have gathered an armada of 960 war planets in multiple dimensions, 340 of which are visible to you. We have been situated around and beyond the trajectory range of Saturn. Any species activity on the inside planets is considered hostile to you. We do not use channeling. We do not send messages to psychics. We only transmit through a strict medium of neutrino beams. The clear reason is that your oppressors do not have access to this technology. Beware of what you call false flag operations. Earth will be invaded by the Draconian Alliance, posing to be us. This will include atrocities in order to condition humanity against us, and to unite you under a world government. Your Illuminati New World Order is but a predecessor of an even more cruel order that is orchestrated by the Draconians' artificial race. The enemy, on-world and off-world, has rejected our terms of surrender. We will intervene in massive and overwhelming force. Our 5th and 6th dimension forces have arrived at your planet, as they cannot be traced or inhibited by the Draconian Alliance. We consider your own dimension being the first, in terms of density. Translating to your terms, you are 3rd dimension, and the enemy exists up to the 5th dimension. We have forces up to the 9th. Once we secure that all the nuclear weapons that have been placed within the Earth's crust in order to destabilize the planet have been neutralized, we will invade. When your rapid eye movement during your sleep ceases to produce erratic dreams and nightmares, know that the enemy's flagship has fallen. A flagship we call Level. A flagship you call Moon. Our true arrival will be signaled by one major event, the extermination of all planetary governments, especially those who have aligned themselves with the eruption of the upcoming World War. Until then, everything else is a lie. You were once citizens of the Galactic Commonwealth. You were invaded and enslaved. We received your distress call and we have sealed the entrances and exits of this solar system. Negotiations with the Draconian Alliance have failed. We are on our way.
We are on our way. Hey, that is one of my fucking favorite all-time videos right there. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, for one, we're doing, UFOs, so why not? And like I said, I had to let my brother in. He came from the bar. But the way they talk about the shit, man, like, anybody ever seen the book, The Ringmakers of Saturn? Right? The Ringmakers of Saturn. Here, let me show you something. The Ringmakers of Saturn. Check this out. This kind of wild shit. See this? Literally, man. Images of these Oumuamua looking objects making the rings around Saturn. Peep that. See? Infrared photograph of one of the gigantic cylindrical objects taken by Hubble in the rings of Saturn. There's a whole book about this. The Ringmakers of Saturn. And then when you look into like the Saturn moon matrix and how he calls the moon Levin, which means sin, right? And like Saturn giving off this sound frequency, right? And here, I'll show you. Let you hear the sound of Saturn. Saturn sound. Saturn sound. Right here. Sound of Saturn is eerie sounds of Saturn. That's not Saturn, that's a commercial. Never mind. Here we go. creepy ass fucking sound. And think about what the Bible talks about, right? You know, God said there was light, right? Was the word, right? So everything is light and sound, right? And if Saturn or Satan truly is the god of this world, right? And you look at like the whole ring makers of Saturn, if they're creating these rings would be a sound or a frequency, right? A frequency of suppression, right? Saturn is like a god of control, right? Law and order. That's what, you know, Saturn is. And then you add in a moon that don't make no fucking sense, right? Like the moon doesn't. First off, many people believe it's a hologram. Second off, I mean, the thing's in a tidal lock. It's in the perfect position for eclipse. It just looks like somebody placed it there. And if you even look at like the Zulu creation stories, they talk about how these snake beings came and drugged the fucking thing right into the orbit of the earth, and it tore everything up. And they told them to worship them, right? So they said, nah, man, you know, we ain't worshiping y'all. You know, you just tore our ass up. Well, they said, okay, if you don't worship us, then we're going to remove the moon, and it's going to happen again. So they did, right? And then you look at the name, Levin, sin, right? So Satan and sin. It's almost like this Saturn-Moon matrix, as the moon acting as a satellite, an amplification of that frequency coming from Saturn of oppression, of control. It's what keeps you within the matrix, the bounds of the matrix. We are, you know, we co-create, we manifest everything. So if we're being bombarded with this low oppressive frequency, then maybe that's what's causing us to create this physical reality around us, right? This all goes back to the soul luminescence, star in a jar, and all of it, right? Like, who knows, right? Somebody may have put our light ass under a prism and is feeding us vibrations and frequencies and sounds in order to get us to emit and project the reality in which we're in, to deceive us from knowing that we're actually outside of this in the form of light, right? And it's like this energy factory, you know, this hustle where they're devouring us. You know, and think about stories of vampires and, you know, archons and ghosts and all of it, man. That's what it looks like is happening, you know, to me. And science has even predicted that they're not predicted, but proven that there are holographic tension points within reality. So we already know, too, like science is fucking full of shit when they talk about gravity, but electromagnetism is true, right? So a plasmatic reality, which would also create, right, holographic projections if it was magnetism. So it all begins to make sense. And you see when the Bible is talking about we were made in the image, right, of the Elohim, which means supreme ones, sons of God, which would be watchers, Nephilim, planets, right, the governors, the archons, the planets, you know, that we are a phantom, a projection, an illusion, and it all makes sense. It's like, are the planets giving off frequencies that trap us down here within this prism, right? And that's why you look at like a Boogeyman channel in Sky Dome Atlantis. What's he doing? He's actually looking through a crystal ball. That's what he's doing. Straight up. You can call it what you want. I don't give a fuck. But that's what it is. He's looking at a crystal ball, and he's looking at it in reverse to see the projection instead of what's being projected on the inside. We're the projection on the inside. The stars are us too. That would be our outward projection. Right? So when we're looking at the stars, we're looking at ourselves, which would mean that we are the fallen. Right? We are the fallen. We were the ones that were deceived into this place. You know. So, yeah. Well, it's a head full of crazy, but, you know, like when you really start to get into these things, man, you know, Mars, Marduk, right? And see, and this is the thing. This is what I think happens with these celestial destruction cycles, too. That if you ever notice, Enki and Enlil, right? Good cop, bad cop, the two brothers, their father, Anu, God, right? Get me? Enlil would probably be akin to Satan or Saturn, right? The god of this world, Kronos, Father Time. He'd be the top dog. His brother could either be Jupiter, which I doubt would be Jupiter. I think he would be more akin to Venus, Mercury, possibly the sun even. And we could also be the sun, right? These could be pieces of celestial spheres being harvested, and it comes through destruction and rebirth. Right, over and over and over, they keep smashing particles together like the Higgs boson, the God particle. They're smashing particles together just like sololuminescence, star in a jar. It's a bunch of smashing particles together, right, to create this action of light, man. You know, and that's what I think is going on with here, and that each conflagration creates a new planet out of the destruction, right? So we have 7 planets. This would be the final one, right? 7 days, the whole 9. This would be it. And that Mars, Mercury, Venus could perhaps just be children of Saturn and Jupiter. You know what I mean? They could actually even be them, right? Mars could be Saturn still. We might not understand it in the way we think because these are celestial spheres, but I believe they are conscious beings, and that it's conscious entities that create these beings. And it even says in the book of the Divine Pyramander of Hermes Trismegistus that the 7 planets are wrapped around us as well, right? So they are a part of us too, right? They give us our lower nature. You think Enlil was also the one who brought Terah, Abraham's dad, the secret mysteries? I don't think so. I think that it would be Enki that did that. But I'm not disagreeing with you either, Rachel. I don't know. You know what I mean? I know Enki is painted as the bad guy quite a bit, and painted as a Lucifer character quite a bit, and it does make me wonder if the fact that, you know, Enki is made this good bringer of knowledge if he's not actually a piece of shit. And the fact that Enlil is looked as this shit-ass god that hates us so much if he's actually not good. You know what I mean? Like, I think about that all the time. Which one truly is it? We know that in the Bible, you got God, and you got the serpent in the garden. That's Enki and Enlil right there. Enlil is the one who says, don't eat from the tree. Right? He didn't want the genetic altering and all of that. He didn't want that. And he was in charge. Remember? He was in charge over his brother Enki. And then you have Enki, the serpent, right? The bringer of knowledge. He says, you know, surely you won't die. He just don't want you to be like him. You'll know the difference between good and evil. And that's what it is, right? Once we know the difference between good and evil, what do? We judge what is good and evil when we place ourselves on the throne of God, right? So you'll be like God. You place yourself on the throne of God by discerning what is good and what is evil, right? Who are you to judge that? You see what I'm saying? Where does good end and evil begin? We're not in that position. You know, we're placing ourselves on the throne when we're taking that. That's the forbidden fruit. We're putting ourselves in that place of judgment, that seat of judgment, right? When no one can judge, right? The Son. It's reserved for the Son. So it's for each and every one of us individual, not for everything around us. You know, not for everything around us. Well, USA is privately owned foreign corporation. This is why they had to create a corporate fiction to interact. Your name in my case. Slave with no rights. Well, the U.S. is a corporation, right? They're the D.C. corporation, right? And you can look at it kind of like this whenever, you know, that's why there's the 3 pillars on Washington, D.C. It's representing Babylon, the financial epicenter, the Vatican, the religious, and then D.C., the war, right? These are the three powers of the Babylonian system. It is a world system, guys. It's a world system, and those 10 horns are everywhere. They're not just in the United States at the Washington Monument. They're in fucking France. They're in Japan. They're in everywhere. This is a world system. And when people finally start to get that, they can see, like, the politics, it's just smoke and mirrors, right? Even world politics are smoke and mirrors. You know, and people have to understand that. Archon means to control, to lord, or to govern. The planets are also called governors, right? So that's why astrology rules the day, y'all, because it's the archons that are in control. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just because they're weirdos and they like astrology. They know that the planets are the fallen angels. They are the supreme magistrates, or the sons of God. They are the Elohim. They are the watchers. And like I said, in the Divine Pyramander of Hermes Trismegistus, it talks about us being wrapped in them, right? Matter of fact, there is an element like rib, right? Remember, Adam had his rib taken out for Eve. If you look at rib, there is this alkaline element that can only be found in a dwarf star, right? That's part of our DNA. It's like, well, where the fuck does that come from? Jupiter, maybe? You know, who knows, right? Who knows? And you're a Leo, and the sun, well, you're only a Leo probably on you got your sun, moon, and rising sign, right? So we're triune, right? Triune God. We're a Trinity too, right? Mind, body, spirit, right? We're triune as well. And you have your sun, moon, and rising. Like your sun represents your ego, your outside persona. Your moon represents the depths of your emotions, and your ascendant, your rising, right? Your ascendant sign. So you have, you know, a few different ones actually. Who would have thought aliens would be so business savvy? No shit, right? No shit. Like, aliens are on point. You know what I mean? And I'm almost certain that whatever beings like are outside of this dome, you know, like they're also inside the dome too. You know what I mean? Like, I think they get permission. Remember, like Lucifer and shit, he's going to and fro to God, guys. So like there's a disconnect if you don't think like all these people are working together. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when it talks about Veasudra, which is Noah, right, in the Lost Book of Enki, when it talks about you can't look on God's face and live, that comes from the Lost Book of Enki when Veasudra is approached by Enki and he tells him about the boat and shit, and he says, I'm talking to this reed wall. You know what I mean? Don't look past the reed wall or surely you'll die like all the other humans. It had nothing to do with looking on the face of God. This was a fucking angel. You know what I mean? Like, he just promised his brother Enlil he wouldn't save humanity. And speaking of Veasudra, we got some Veasudra type shit coming our way. Looks like the closest Earth approach, we have 1,380,000 miles on the 10th, 2021 NE, 50 feet. See if we got anything close. 34 feet, 2019 AT6 on the 13th, 1,010,000. Nothing super crazy. Nothing super crazy or super close. But I always like to look at it, man. You know what? I'm even wondering if asteroids even fucking come from space anymore. Check this out. This fiery object spotted.
This was in the sky. We're going to take a closer look at the video footage of that extraordinary comet. I don't think it's any type of lens flare because it stays in the field of view for over 3 minutes. And typically...
And think about that, too. Like, we're seeing massive amounts of these fireballs. I'm starting to wonder if the energy from the earthquakes, like the seismic energy, the eruption of, you know, all of that, the gases, the plasma, all of it is like collecting on the top of the firmament, forming these plasma balls falling back down. You know what I mean? It makes sense, like precipitation, right, would with the clouds, considering we probably live in a closed system. Just saying.
Will disappear in a few seconds, you know. This looks like a comet. It looks like a classic large comet diving into the inner solar system. I know there's one coming in, but it's not scheduled to come in for another like 9 or 10 years. One that's 62 miles wide. I don't think that's this one here. This one looks like a stray that came in out of nowhere. Pretty good size. Don't know what we've got going on here, guys. And again, this video footage is fresh, just a few.
Yeah, exactly. And people are catching this shit everywhere right now. Everywhere right now. Check this out.
Space debris. Now indeed as well, thinking out of the box. This could be anything, but these people, these researchers work very hard showing the phenomena of a huge object travelling through our solar system. Now indeed, we all know that we all respect the godfather of Planet X, Carlos Munoz Ferrada, the Chilean astronomer that predicted and also spoke out in front of thousands of people back in 1999 in a TV broadcast. Now the reason why I bring up Carlos Ferrada is because the implications that this object moves differently from known heavenly bodies in our solar system, this influences the changes, meaning it is on a elliptical orbit. And also,
and if you think about that too, man, the whole elliptical orbit thing, it really is starting to pan out and make sense, right? Because what we've been watching from our sun, right? Like, it's becoming more and more red, man, as if something is triggering the sun itself into a change. I'm not sure about Planet X. I don't know. You know, I don't know if this is, you know, the planets in our system, but I do know there's a big red motherfucker out there, and it looks like it's getting ready to tear our ass up.
So it moves like a comet. This huge asteroid-sized planet. Now, indeed as well, explained there is other objects that travel with this constellation of stars, planets. Could we be seeing here Planet X on this very photograph? And also one of the moons. There's many moons on this.
And DF says to get to outer space, we got to get out of this body ship. I agree, bro. I agree. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but I'll suggest it to you anyways, because I always thought it was interesting. It's been years since I've watched him or listened to him, but Wes Penray, that's somebody you should probably look up. If you're into that kind of stuff, man, and like escaping the Matrix and just, you know, astral things and just really deep things, Wes Penray is a good channel to watch, most definitely. Check this out.
Is Raptor News. We are experiencing things and seeing things that we have never ever seen take place on this earth before. Everything under the sun is going down, and basically we can almost tell that we are going to be taken out. August the 9th, 2021 is the month of Abib according to the lunar calendar, meaning that is the month or the year the children of Israel was taken out of captivity the first time. Since all of this stuff is going down, not setting a date, not saying that it's going to happen, but saying we're going to be observing that day.
I do want to point something out too. He says August is the month of Abib. If we look at the 42 months, right, like the 42 months from Apophis, March 6, 2021, 1999, 42. I was actually doing the math, like looking at what like the next, you know, years would look like, and 48 months would like in the years, but 42 months, 6 months away from Apophis would take us to September. So just saying.
Everything looks normal until you go right here. I don't know what that is. It's not fireworks. It's not fireworks. Yo, this shit is crazy. I'm telling you, bro. It's crazy. Like I said, if you can tell me what this is and where it's coming from and why the light is pulsing like that, change a different color. If you can tell me, yo, hit me up.
Look at that. What is that? I am. That's not plane. That is not an airplane. You see it? That is not a satellite, and that is not an airplane. I've never seen anything like that before.
Look at that. Look. You see now? Look at that. Can you move a second? I'm trying to get a bit of perspective. Look at that in the sky.
What is that?
I told you. I told you. People don't believe me. You see the circle in the middle?
What is that?
Do you see the circle in the middle?
Again, everything is...
He said, I told you, but people don't believe me. Do you see the circle in the middle? I mean, guys, you know, I'm to the point to where it's like, wow, this thing really is not like, it's not on an orbit, it's not on a trajectory, there's no man really will know the day or hour on this, and that's the truth. Like, we've counted down, The Great Sign in Heaven, September 23rd, 2017. We've counted Great American Eclipses, August 21st, 2017. The Midway Point, December 14th, 2020. We counted the Great Conjunction, December 21st, 2021. The 1,260 days, March 6th, 2021. And we know that it all ends with another eclipse in 2024. We've counted the fucking blood moons. I mean, no man will know the day or the time on this, and that is obvious. Like, this thing has a fucking mind of its own. It has a mind of its own. And for whatever reason, I believe, though, that, you know, the blue object and the red object really do control the poles of the Earth, too. That whatever process is taking place, like, this is a very, very natural process to our system. And I do believe we make new planets each time this happens. I believe that's why Tiamat was blown into pieces. We're probably Tiamat. Matter of fact, you know, science is even talking about now how there's a chunk of, what is it? Theia? The name Theia planet, right? That is a chunk in the Earth. I mean, we look at the one object, the big red object with the fucking crack in it, the broken spear in front of the Vatican. We probably are Tiamat. And remember, the Anunnaki came to mine Tiamat for her golden veins. And anytime we think of gold, right, gold is spirit. Right, gold is spirit. So it's almost like this operation to knock the life out of that planet, and we are that planet, and they're still breaking it into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. And if you look into like the Cthulhu's mythos and the occult and the Necronomicon and all of that, according to them, Tiamat was the divine feminine. It was a divine feminine serpent energy. They called it evil, right? They said it was evil. The Anunnaki did, remember? And that's when Marduk and all of this, that's when the war began in Numa Elish. You know? Are we that evil planet? I mean, think about it. I'm putting it out there. I'm not saying we are. I'm not saying we aren't. I'm just asking you to consider. Are we Tiamat? Is the Earth all that's left of Tiamat? And that's why it has to be under like a dome and shit, because it's just a piece. Look at the first book of Adam and Eve and all of the different accounts of Satan destroying the Earth. He took a big giant fucking rock and slams it on Adam, and Adam got covered up by it by God. Sounds like an asteroid to me. You know? Just saying. And it was a giant water world, right? And we know that in the days of like Nephilim and all of this, there were giants. You know? And if you look at like civilization over civilization, we get destroyed over and over and over and over again. Like, matter of fact, I was pointing it out earlier at the beginning of the show. It looks like in the Bible, 14 times we've had our asses handed to us, and that's just in the Bible. That's just modern shit. You know? Lost Book of Inky talks about it too. I forget what they call it. They got a name for it. Each time that one ends, though. But it's like an epoch. And they do them over and over and over and over and over again. And it's every biblical account, and I can show you this over and over, and I have a bunch of times. Let me show you something. It's the same fucking story. Over and over and over. I'm just going to pull one random. Ezekiel. Right here. In the 13th year, and remember, there's no 13s on elevators and all of that. 13, in my opinion, is because that was the day of the Passover, so they were scared of that. Also, that's the 13th aeon where Pistis Sophia fell from, which would also be Tiamat, which would also be the female serpent energy, the Cthulhu's mythos, and the occult. And on the 5th day, on the 4th month, the 5th day, on the 4th month, which the 4th month, you know what I mean? That would be like Passover, dude. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. I was among the exiles at the Kibar River. And that was in Mesopotamia. And the heavens opened, and I saw a divine vision. The heavens opened, and I saw a mirror. I saw a mirror. the waters of the firmament. The heavens opened and I saw a divine vision. He said, I saw a divine mirror, right? A mirror. Remember, we're a reflection of the heavens above, right? He saw a mirror. Why? Waters above the firmament, waters below. On the 5th day of the month, it was in the 5th year of King Joachim's exile. And he was the Israelite king, right? King of Israel. He who wrestles with the fallen, right? He mastered king. That's authority, right? Over he who wrestles with the fallen. Don't think of it literal. The Lord's message came to priest Ezekiel, or one officiating, the son of Buzi, at the Kibar River in the land of the Babylonians. The hand of the Lord came on him there. The hand of the Lord came on him there. And when you look at it, it's Jehovah existed there. It happened and occurred there. And as I watched a windstorm, and remember, we were talking about in Immanuel Velikovsky's Worlds and Collisions, the different conflagrations that happen, right? Earth, wind, water, fire, right? And it's going to happen again, too, that way, right? I noticed a windstorm coming from where? The north. The north. And we've talked about this also. I take you to Exodus. I take you to all the different books and show you what the north actually means. It means the hidden, the dark. It's space. The north is space, dude. The winds that came from the north, man. A whirlwind that came from the north. An enormous cloud. An enormous cloud with lightning flashing and a bright light rimmed it and came from it like a glowing ember in the middle of a fire. What's he talking about? The destroyer. He's talking about the destroyer. Once again, talking about the destroyer. These are planets they're talking about, guys. Every time. Every time. You can't make this shit up, man. It's craziness. Let's see if I can pull this up and show you. And I'll show you exactly where they're talking about the same thing. Exactly where they're talking about the same thing. Got it here somewhere. One second. Here's this. And this is what I mean, man. You know, you can't even make this shit up anymore at this point in the game. It's like too many coincidences. They're all talking about the same thing. So if this isn't something that's going to happen, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, because you know, we've watched I don't know how many different religions, how many different books all talk about the same shit. They're all telling you the same story. They're all talking about a giant fucking planet that's going to roll on past and tear all of our asses up. And what's crazy about it too is each one of them, they refer to this thing as God. And if you look at who the God of this world is, right, it would be Satan, Saturn, right? Christ said that. He said, your father is the father of lies, right? And behold, he's coming on the cloud, right? All of these different things to me are dead giveaways that they're worshiping Saturn or they're worshiping Jupiter. I can't figure out which one, and I halfway think it's both. If you look at the story from the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, it talks about how they first worshipped Jupiter, and that's how it got its name, right? Jupiter, right? Jupiter, right? Think about it. Peter, the rock that the church was built on. Get me, right? Those Luciferian fuckers. Yeah. And then Saturn, the god that holds you back. That's why the Sabbat and all of that came into play, right? because he was a god that holds you back. There's no sense in doing shit on his day, Saturn's day, because you can't get nothing done anyways. So yeah, let me pull this up and just show you the exact same line here. This is what I mean, like, people, they don't teach you this in church either. You're never going to get taught this in church. Matter of fact, they'll probably tell you, I'm going to hell. They could be right, but it don't matter. We're all going to hell with this thing in the sky because it's attracted to negativity and it's attracted to evil. And that's why the Hopi called it the purifier. See, men forget the days of the destroyer. Only the wise know where it went and when it will return in its appointed hour. Across the heavens in the days of wrath, here was its likeness, a billowing cloud of smoke enwrapped in a ruddy glow, not distinguishable in joint or limb. Its mouth was an abyss from which came flame, smoke, and hot cinders. I noticed a windstorm coming from the north. Remember, it came from the abyss. The north is the abyss. That's the hidden. That's the dark. An enormous cloud with lightnings flashing and bright light. Rimmed, it came from it like glowing amber in the middle of a fire. In the fire, we were looking at 4 living beings. In their appearance, they had human form, but each had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight, but the soles of their feet were like calves. They gleamed like polished bronze. They had human hands under their wings on their 4 sides. As the faces and wings of the 4 of them, their wings touched each other, and they did not turn as they moved, but went straight ahead. Now, I'm starting to fucking wonder what these cherubim actually are, too, right? If we look at, where's it at here? Let me see if I can pull this up. This is some weird stuff I'm going to throw at you here in a second. Some people will say, no, that's not true. John, you're evil. Hold on. Not that one. Has anybody ever seen, like, the original pictures of the dragon? This one. Do you think, like, when they're describing this thing, right, this fiery bastard in the sky coming in, and remember the 2 blue planets we were just looking at, how they were lined up just like that, right? And it's got a giant red one behind it. And when they're talking about the 4 beings that are together, right, I wonder if they're talking about the string of pearls on this thing. I wonder if they're talking about the string of pearls, because they're talking about it having this ruddy red glow and it being indistinguishable in joint or limb, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? Boom. Or are these the 4 moons of Jupiter? Think about that too. That's another possibility, right? The 4 moons of Jupiter. Watch. People are capturing this with images now. In daytime. Just not too long ago. Let's see if I can find that picture of it actually. But when you see this thing coming, it's got like 2 moons on each side. Let me see if I can get a real picture of this. If you guys remember, I just showed this not too long ago. Yeah. Somebody caught it right in the broad daylight, man. Fucking picture of Jupiter and its moons. Look. Boom. This is the king planet. And imagine, too, if there's more involved here, wouldn't this start to look like a cross as it got closer and closer? You know what I mean? Wouldn't this start to look like a cross as it got closer and closer? You know, as there's more than just these 4 moons. And think about it. We've had the transits of Ganymede. I know we had the transit of Ganymede for sure in front of, was it in front of our moon? That we seen the transit of Ganymede just like a year or so ago, which is one of the moons of Jupiter. Yes, John, a cross. Yeah, CDF, you get it, man. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what I'm saying. There's more moons than just these 4, but these are the ones that people always catch. And remember what Constantine saw in the sky, man. Right? And think about it, too. In the representations, like Jesus, Hail Zeus, how he bore his stripes, and then Jupiter's a stripe planet. The King of Kings, Jupiter is a king planet. And then you look at Revelations 12 prophecy, and what's it talking about? It's talking about a child being born, travailing in birth, who will rule the nations with an iron rod or an iron scepter. Who the fuck's it talking about? Yeah, you guessed it. Jupiter. Talking about Jupiter. And the ancient Babylonians called Nibiru Jupiter, right? Look, she was pregnant, screaming in labor pain, struggling to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, the huge red dragon, which is Apophis, right? 7 heads, 10 horns, and on its heads were 7 diadem crowns. Now the dragon's tail swept a third of the stars away in heaven and threw them to the earth. And the woman is about to give birth, might devour a child as soon as born. The woman gave birth to a son, a male child, who is going to rule over all the nations with an iron rod. And this son, he's a descendant, a male child. And Jupiter is also known as Michael, by the way. Michael and Jupiter are the same entity. And then you look right here, right? Right here, when the war in heaven starts. Who's a god in it? Then the war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But the dragon was not strong enough to prevail, so there was no longer any place left in heaven for him and his angels. This is a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. The dragon is Saturn, Jupiter is Michael, right? He usurped him in the sky, man. They're telling you. They're telling you. It's all right there. Actually, it does have horns. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I do know Moses has horns. That's for sure. Moses has horns. So, you know, there's that. Right? And like I said, man, every one of these fucking different things that have happened, I can show you over and over and over. The same numbers, same stories, same things happen. See? Tidal theory, where the planets were torn from the sun to disperse first and reunite later. This is what's happening now. Look. See how they're reuniting now? Look. Mercury, the sun, Venus and Mars. Look, they're all in a line. Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. All coming together. Right? They call it the final conflagration in the Greek, man. And in the Lost Book of Enki, they knew the shit was about to pop off because the Doomsday Glacier was getting ready to go. And the sun. Solar wind incoming, high-speed stream of solar wind is approaching. July 11th, 12th, the gaseous material flowing from an equatorial hole, and this is below the equator. Why? Because it's coming from under the ecliptic in the sun's atmosphere. Myogeomagnetic storms and roars are possible when the solar wind arrives. 2 solar flares, 2 radio blackouts. Departing sunspot AR2840 erupted twice on the 9th, producing a pair of almost M-class solar flares. See, these pulses of X-ray radiation ionized the top of the Earth's atmosphere, and the result was 2 minor radio blackouts over Asia and Europe. And mariners and aviators, ham radio operators have noticed unusual propagation effects at frequencies below 15 megahertz. So there you go, right? They're noticing some unusual shiznit. And where's it at? Where's the video I was on here?
Is going down under the sun. Things are happening we never saw before, and things are falling down like dominoes. Babylon the Great is falling. And so with that said, we know that August the 9th is the new year. That is the month of Abib that we were taking out before, and it is a chance, not saying it's going to happen, it is a chance we can be taken out again. If not this year, it'll be the next year or the following year. But we will be taking out on the new year. This is Wrap the News.
So if not this year, then next year, then the following year, and the year after. You know, what was it Bill Gates said? That everything would return to normal by 2022, right? 2022. One of my questions is this: is we going to see things deteriorate all the way down to that 42-month point, which would take us to 2024, right? When we see the final Great American Eclipse, right? Is that what we're going to see? Or are we, you know, like I said, the 6 months would bring us to September, right? The 6 months would bring us to September. So, you know, who knows, right? Like, who knows? Something tells me that it's not going to happen as fast as what people originally thought, even myself included, that this is going to be playing out over a period of time, I would say. We're still seeing that agenda right now for the mark. That's still not done. I mean, they still haven't got it all the way locked down yet. I mean, they're getting close, right? But it's not there yet. And as far as the destruction on the earth and all of that, yes, we do see them getting into position for global conflict because they know it's coming. But it's not to the point to where it's undeniable. There's still people that have no fucking clue that, you know, like, so much crazy shit's going on. You know, we're starting to see dents in the food supply and shit like that as well, and UV and geomagnetic anomalies, but it's just not enough, I think, to shock everybody and cause a societal collapse yet. They're still working on things with digital currencies and all of that, so it looks as if, you know, but what the fuck do I know? We got a little bit more time before everything falls apart. And what's so wild is it almost feels like it'll all fall apart at once, like at the end or something. Like, don't it? You know what I mean? Like, the way we watch things kind of roll out, and it's been so meticulous. And I know it seems fast. If you've been watching from 2017 to now, you're like, fuck, you know, this shit's crazy. Because we've watched so many prophetical things happen and all of that. But, like, seriously, though, like, it has been longer than what I would have anticipated. You know, I thought Passover, you know, like, we would really get, you know, we'd get cranking. And I mean, we are. We obviously are. We started getting cranking, like, last October with the blue moon and shit. Things intensified. And maybe that's what it'll be. It'll be these kind of, like, birthing pains, right? Like, contractions. They'll come on, they'll be bigger, and there'll be a little, you know, subsiding, and less rest in between. Because what they're trying to birth is pure evil. Excuse me. Pure evil. And it's the death of all of us. It's a giant sacrifice. It's a giant ritual. And we live in a crazy fucking time. You know what I suggest, though? Like, if I was you, and I watched this video, or I seen this video, and instead of being, like, freaked out and shit, I'd be like, yeah, this means I need to live. You know what I mean? Like, this means I need to live. This means I need to be a good fucking person. This means I need to do what makes me happy. This means I need to do what fulfills me. This means, like, everything in my life should have, like, meaning. You know? To understand these kind of things and not, what the fuck? Excuse me. What's the point of knowing if you do nothing with it? You know what I mean? What's the point of knowing if you do nothing with it? You know, you can know all the fucking tricks in the world, but if you're not using it to your advantage, then, you know, you can know all the truth. If you're not sharing it, then who fucking cares? You know, you can have all the love. If you're not giving it, then what the fuck, man? You know, like, we're all called here to do something, I think. Like, at least, I believe that. And I believe we all have a purpose in our life, and we don't get to control when our moment comes. Excuse me. Jeez, I got the yawns. Ugh. We don't get to choose when our moment comes, but we all know that moment will come, and we all got to be ready, right? And we could be in that moment right now and not even know it. The moment can pass you by. You know, you only got so much of life, so much of energy, so much of youth, so much of intelligence. Everything is finite here, right? Like, it is. You may be eternal, and what's in you is eternal, but you have a limited amount of time to utilize, you know, this reality to help other people that's in it. You know, you do. You have a limited amount of time to maximize your potential as well, right? Like, we do. And we all have to understand that. And we have to understand that if we want people to come to our side of things, to see our side of things, we have to show them it's better. You got to show them it's better. You got to say, look at my world. You know, don't you want to be a part of that? You know, don't you want to be a part of that? Get out of the fucking rat race and quit trying to, you know, be a slave to society and their standards and their thoughts and their expectations, and just enjoy being you, love being you, be you each day, and see how fucking awesome that would be. You know? Love people like you're never going to love again. Be good to people and watch what comes back to you. Watch the good shit that comes back to you. You know? And I think if people see that and they see people living that way, they're going to want it too. They're going to be like, wow, what are these people doing? How do they know so much? How are they so happy? How do they have so much freedom? Why are they so close together? Why do they love each other so much? You know, what do they have that we don't? And that's what we have to show them. You know, you can't beat them over the head with, oh, you're fucking stupid. You don't know about this or that. It's not about that. It's about bringing us together, man. You know, because if we don't, you see what they're going to do. They're going to mow down everybody that doesn't come with us. You know, they're done. You know, they're done. And it's their choice. You know, it's your choice. You participate in the system or you don't. It's up to you. Like, nobody can make you do anything. Nobody can tell you to do anything. It's got to be what's right for you and your family. And fuck, dude, if you want the mark of the beast, have at it, homie. You know what I mean? That's on you. You deal with that when you deal with that. I'll deal with what I deal with. You know, and to me, there's nothing on this world, nothing in this world that's worth giving up what makes me me. That's worth giving up what I love. That's worth any of those things. Like, that's the real experience, and we're selling ourselves out to all the cheap shit. You know? We're letting other people do the research and thinking for us and the living for us. It's like, look at the young generation and shit. They'll watch a person play a video game or watch a person play baseball or something. It's like, what the fuck? Stop letting other people rob you from the first-hand experience of life. You know? Like, we do this so much. And the television's taught us to do it too. Right? You'll watch a fucking love story on TV instead of living one. You know? Watch an adventure on a movie instead of going and doing one. You know? We're capable of anything. If we can think it, we can conceive it, we can imagine it, we can have it. That's the truth. Like, there's no limit to what we can do. And people need to understand that. They got to find where their power is. You know? And it starts with, like, loving yourself always, right? Loving yourself and saying, hey, fuck the world. If they don't like me for me, then fuck them. Because truly people that love you will. They'll always accept you for who you are. You know? They will. And I know a lot of people that, like, watch this kind of stuff have been outcast by their families and significant others, all kinds of shit, man. And that can be hard. It can be, but it's not easy to be unique, right? It's not easy to be an individual, a real person, right? It's easy to copy everyone and walk around, you know, mimicking and mocking and pretending to be something you're not. That's easy as fuck, you know? But to truly, like, tune in and tap into who you are and be that, shit, dude. Only one person can do that, you know? Only one person can do that. And that takes nuts, too. Because not everybody's going to get you. Not everybody's going to accept you. Not everybody's going to like you. They don't have to, though. As long as you like you and you're comfortable with you. You know, like, that's, you know, it sounds like all cliche and stuff, but know thyself. Like, that's what it all boils down to. When you truly know yourself, I think you know God. You learn to know God. You learn to to tap into that, and not just God, one another. You know each other better. It just opens up everything for you, and it allows you to forgive you so you can forgive other people. And once you know your own bullshit, you recognize it in other people. I mean, it's just the benefit, guys, of truly letting go of all the religions and the politics and the labels and, well, this person's going to think this about me, or they're going to call me this. Dude, that is acceptance. Right? When we're still seeking to be accepted from other people, we're still a slave. We're still a slave. We're a slave to their opinion, which don't fucking matter. We're a slave to their opinion. We can't do that any longer. We can't. Because those that value you will always value you for exactly who you are, the way you are. And if they don't, it's because they never valued you to start with. And they probably don't value themselves, And eventually, I'm sure they'll shut down all of this stuff to where people can talk freely and all that. You see them working on it, net neutrality and all that shit, So why not now, while it's still around? You know what I mean? Like, utilize it for the most. You know what I mean? And use it as a tool to help invest in yourself and make yourself better. Because ultimately, that's what everything else is trying to do, is trying to get you to invest outside of you. That's why they want you to be a consumer. That's why they want you to work a job. They don't want you to put it into you, man. Because you're the most valuable thing you have, believe it or not. And you're the most powerful thing you have. And there's nothing that none of you can't do if you truly, truly wanted to. And I promise you that. It really is the truth. So, I want to thank all of you guys for watching me. Sorry I went so late, man. I don't know. I just decided I decided to make one, and people would catch it when they catch it. If you guys would, please hit the thumbs up. Hit the like button, no matter what you're watching on for me. I would definitely appreciate that. It really does help for it to get out there. And if you can, take 1 second and share this video. Just 1 second, no matter what you're watching on. I don't care what you're watching on. Just 1 second, share this video, and after it's over, leave a comment, because it all helps with the algorithms. If you would like access to, what day is it? What year is it? I will be doing the Best Damn Fam live tomorrow, the private show. For the patrons, those who donate and support on PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. Like if your YouTube subscription, Facebook subscription. Facebook's never paid me, but I still honor the Facebook people. It's not their fault. Facebook fucking sucks. But yeah, consider donating and supporting to the channel. That's how I live. That's how I keep this going. That's how I do everything. And you can have access to tomorrow night's private show. I'm going to be doing it differently too, guys. You're going to see it's going to be very different tomorrow. The first half is going to be video, where I'm streaming video. And the second half, I'm going to move over to audio. That way I can talk to people and do it easier that way. So hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully it's cool. I did see how after I was gone, a lot of my private shows got locked. So I'll be fixing all of that for those of you on Patreon and all of that. And I'll be sending out the links. If you have donated and supported and you haven't received your private links, text 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. I really do need some help with secretarial stuff and shit like that. So if someone's got experience and is interested in doing that, please email me, therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. I also need people with experience in web design as well. I did see somebody that sent the graphic designs the other day. They were dope as fuck. So get a hold of me so we can work on those. Really cool. What else? I feel like there's something else I should be saying. Everybody make sure you go to join the Discord too. It's free. You can join, kick it over there. And if anything ever happens or whatever, that's, where the messages go to and all of that. So, yeah, man. I really do appreciate all of you guys, dude. Seriously, Rachel Kneebone, Sane in Chaos. That is a cool name. And who else? Tim Hamby, Burn Vision Truth Network, LT X-Ray. Thank you guys, man. I really appreciate all of you. Grant Finley over on Facebook Live, Kathy Montgomery, awesome Vince, Son of God, DF, Justin Shorting. You guys are awesome, man. Seriously, I can't tell you enough either, man. Like Donna Marie, yeah, Graceful Heart, Jedi Skywalker. Yeah, seriously, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys. Like while I was away, for all your nice, kind words, and those of you who donated and helped me out and all that, thank you so much, man. Like, that's really cool. And those of you who just watch and all of that too, I really appreciate everybody, seriously. So I want you guys to know that I love all of you guys, and most of you guys are such good people and great people, and I won't hold it against you that are, a couple of you are kind of assholes, but I love the assholes too. They're all right. All right, guys. Remember, Jesus is the truth, the way, and life. God bless you guys. I love you, and I will see you next time. You'll have a wonderful weekend. Peace.
Soldier, boy, tell him. Tryna be for everybody on the internet, feeling shameless. I'd rather be broke on Sunset in a Hollywood hotel, being famous, and be somebody that I ain't. Man, I gotta flee from the dank. Man, this whole rap shit fake. I'm trying to keep this shit authentic, but it's hard, it ain't turning out great. I'll never be Kanye. Put my ego to the side, let it work at the beat, only entree. I'm trying to do sold out shows. The game made me an outcast, man, I'm feeling like Andre. I keep it 3,000. Faith of a man, move mountains. I ain't propel out public housing, but I seen a whole lot of struggle. Cut me in half, I made double. Cut me in half, I never undermine my achievements. Say peace to my demons. I pull out my piece to police them. I gotta go beastin'. Last year I made strides, but I'm trying to be more than just decent and free somebody. Every day a fan say you really motivate me to be somebody, so I can't sell out on the fuck shit. Y'all still lying to your own self, I don't trust shit. I've been the same man for the jump. Y'all thought the plan been sunk because I had a change in the sound, but I can still be profound. Y'all brains said the only thing shrunk. Man, I hustle like Nipsey. Yeah, I was 9 years old, still knew the half ounce 150. Y'all tell a bunch of fake ass drug dealing stories trying to come off motherfucking risky, and that shit missed me. Yeah, I ain't in the big band, but I rock out. All them fake shots getting blocked out. You the police, always motherfucking copped out. Babe Ruth, I'm pointing at the back of the fence. I already know it's coming when it popped out. You don't wanna get to work, you don't cocked out. You ain't made weather, this a motherfucking knockout. I never turn to the police, I'd rather do 30. You telling on your homeboy Shirley, us whole shit, I guess why your whole shit girly, and I ain't sip dirty. Y'all rap about lean too much. That slurred out bullshit, clouding up the scene too much. I'm on a dirt bike being too clutch. Man, I got to change shit. Can't ride out with all this fake shit. Yeah, y'all boy on that pop shit. Yeah, talk shit, you don't pop shit. Man, I got to change shit. Hey, can't rock out with all this fake shit. Yeah, y'all still on that pop shit. Yeah, talk shit, you don't pop shit.
Over the millennia, the voice became so all-pervasive that it took over people's sense of identity. Whereas before, for a long time, probably after the arising of thinking, humans still had a sense of rootedness in being, the natural sense of rootedness in the depths of their being.
Do la mia pace, non guardare I nostri peccati, ma alla fede della tua Chiesa, e donale unità e pace secondo la tua volontà, tu che vivi e regni nei secoli dei secoli.
Amen.
La pace del Signore sia sempre con voi.
E con il tuo spirito.
I give the guy right by my side, ready to bust it. You thought that you could act about this, we forgot. bury you. Sad to say you going deeper down in nowhere.